Well, welcome everyone to another speedrun video, and please make sure you like this video and do me a favour, subscribe to the channel. Cheers. And yeah, our rating is storming up the ranks, so we're now getting to 2200 territory, and this is the kind of territory which you're a serious player, right? You've achieved a lot in chess. You obviously shouldn't be falling for blunders so much, and you've got to have some good strategy. So we're going to give you a little bit of advice about what to do and what to avoid. So I'm now going to start playing my favourite opening, the classical Dutch, and obviously you can learn more about this from various things that I've done on it. It's quite a rare opening, and I must admit it's quite a tricky opening to learn. It's not the easiest opening to learn, be entirely honest, but it's really effective when you master it. So it's like a really hard style of martial arts that will take you ages to get on top of, but once you have got it, you'll be delighted with your progress. So you've got to be serious about playing it. Now the first thing we do, let's try to break it down into stages. I normally play e6, f5 to avoid some gambit lines, and then I move my knight here to control this. It's a bit like a reverse Sicilian, and this we could say is stage 1. Now we do adapt depending what our opponent plays, and whenever the bishop comes here, we've got to be quite aware that white might be fighting for the move e4. E4 is something we don't really want to ever allow, so we've got to be aware of this. So I could move my bishop to one of these two squares, but given the chance, I do like fianchettoing this bishop. And I won't do this if my opponent has fianchettoed his bishop, but he hasn't yet. And this just gives me a bit more control over here. Now it's clear that my opponent's not going to fianchetto, and this square is very important. Now, again, I could come over here, but I think I'm just going to break the pin, because that allows my knight to come into the central square. And my opponent now might be having an idea of playing e4, not immediately, but he might be trying to get rid of my defender of that square. Bishop takes and playing e4. So I'm just going to plonk my knight in there, and this is a standard way of stopping white from achieving that. Take with a queen, and let's see what the opponent does here. Okay, he may be getting ready to stop this one. I'm going to castle, continue my development, and he can't take the knight because they've fallen to pin, and now we need to deal with this piece, and the way I normally develop this piece is put it here, and I go d6 first. This is a useful move. It controls one of their main pawn breaks, c5. It prepares to play one of our main pawn breaks, e5, and our knight can try to come round to f6 to control this central square. So it's quite a positional opening, the Dutch, actually. My opponent now has 3 pieces attacking my knight. I can't maintain it there, so I have to exchange. There's not really much else I can do there. And my opponent will take the knight, and again now e4 is something I need to think about. Now e4, f4 is one way you can deal with this. It's quite a nice idea. But then he might go e5 and he's attacking there. And unless I've got a good way to deal with that, I don't really want to allow that. I mean, again, knight d7 is a move I want to play, but after e4, I don't want to take there because it opened up the e file. You've got to avoid that. So knight d7, e4, f4, pawn here, takes, check, king here. Don't like it. I could even play g6, because then when my opponent plays this move, I could play f4 and we stop this idea. I want to really play e5 here, but this pawn is on pre. Could I also go queen here? Not to just check threaten this one, but to support that pawn. That's interesting. So queen here. Actually, how does he defend that? And if e4, well, he's definitely lining up into... Okay, let's play that. I like that move. And again, I want to get this knight out. I'm not really playing this move for checkmate ideas. I'm more playing it to defend this one. So I might better play e5, because this is what I want to play. You want to get these 2 pawns here in the Dutch. And now that my opponent plays this move, I'm hoping it's slightly different in that I can play f4, and if here, checkmate. So I'm hoping now I can get this and e5 in. Now if the knight comes here, my queen comes back, maybe to this square, so I keep control of my idea. And again, I want to stop this move, and I can take the knight at least if my opponent plays that. And this is a really bad mistake for my opponent. This is a big mistake. It might look okay because you block the bishop out, but he can no longer play e5. I'm going to get my ideal pawn structure, mainly these two, and I have great kingside attacking chances now. Got to watch out for c5, so let's develop the knight. So if he goes there, I simply take it, and I'm controlling this square. This is the one move to watch out for, but he's made his bishop very bad. Yeah, my bishop is bad as well, but I got great kingside attacking chances now. My pawn coming forwards, one way to attack. My rook swinging over here, going for an attack there, another way to an attack. So my opponent plays a good move, I guess, attacking my knight. I don't want to move my knight because, again, that gives him counterplay. So rook f7, I don't really want to play, but hey-ho. This is the kind of move I do want to play to get the bishop somewhere better, but then the queen comes in here. So I want to try and stop this counterplay over here. Maybe even rook here, so I keep connected to the rook, because I want to play like a5 and try to block it all down there. Looks a little bit clumsy, and my kingside play is not going to come quickly here. Maybe he can sacrifice a pawn now. That could be interesting. But I still like my position. I mean, no matter what the computer says, I'm just wondering. I'm wondering about this a5 move. I really want to play a5, and if he plays this move, I'm laughing so much. So maybe I do play on the queen side. You don't normally play on the area of the board you're weakest. I am weakest on the queen side. I mean, I could play g5 and get on with it, but I feel like an attack over there is not going to be possible yet. I need to try and distract this queen away. So I'm going to play this one. The idea is just to try and move his queen to a more passive square, and then I can come back over to the king side. I don't think my pawn is bad here. If he ever moves his b pawn, he's positionally lost, because my knight will sit there and he can just resign. So he must maintain this pawn here to at least tickle the idea of playing c5. He's got to really try and get this move in. Now this looks incredibly risky, putting the queen here, because I always have bishop to this square, but then he's going to come in. Looks so risky though. And if c5, got to watch out for that. Bishop here, he still comes in. Very peculiar move, that one. You know, would not expect to move like that. So c5. I mean, do we play some weird move like rook a7 here? Because then if there, I can take. Let's try rook a7. This is a really peculiar move, this one. Not a human-like move. I mean, putting your queen into the position like this might be okay, but it has surprised me somewhat. Now c5, I've got either bishop a6 or take here. Now if I take here, we can take there, and then I can come here. Then he comes in. It looks like his queen is really on the edge here. Now I was thinking I can bring my queen back, but then I don't want to allow knight here. Okay, so he's preparing this c5 move. Now is it time to take here? Now c5, am I happy just doing this? See, I really want to get my queen back, but the knight coming in is a bit dangerous. So to be fair, he has therefore managed to create some pretty okay play, hasn't he, over on this area of the board. Okay, I'm going to play h6, but I think he now must play c5, and it's going to get quite interesting, because I want to now bring my queen back. And okay, I thought my attack was going to be a lot more straightforward, but okay, now he's played this good move, of course. Now if I go here, I'm not sure, so I'm going to take this way, and now let's see what happens if we play this. So I've got to move a little bit quicker now. Okay, so he sacrificed the exchange. Seems like a pretty decent idea from him. Is it going to be enough play for him? So I have to play here, got no choice there, and now he's going to get a pawn for it. So he's definitely got enough play for this sacrifice of exchange. And I think I'm going to have to give him another pawn, and he's probably better because he's got these 2 pawns. So his queenside play, I have to admit, I probably underestimated a little bit. I mean, be interesting to go back there and to see if, when I said, oh, this is this idea of his is a bad move, maybe I should have just got on with it a bit more and not worried about defending so much. But we'll come back to that point because we've always got to learn from our games. This position, I guess, to assess, I think he should have swapped queens off. I think now, I was going to say roughly even, but maybe his pawns give him a slight edge. It's hard to say. It's hard to assess this one. His knight is very good though. Okay, let's attack the queen. See where he's going to move that. And if his knight comes in, I'm going to try to play f3. f3 is a very useful move to play. Just tickle his king side a little bit. And another idea is I want to get my rooks on these open files. These pawns I've got to watch out for, but they're not scary at the moment. Okay, so now we will play this move f3, just because it opens his king side a little bit. Do I sack the exchange back here? I don't know. Or I mean, this is quite tempting, but he has gonna have. Okay, let's do this just to get the initiative. Yeah, let's do this to get the initiative back. That knight was very strong, and what am I? I'm 2 pawns down actually here, but his king side's a little bit weak, so I can't be better here. But how much worse am I? I don't know. Now, if he goes to the ending with this one, should be fine. But yeah, he's played this well on the queen side. His queen b5 was a move that looked so risky, didn't it? But I'll be very intrigued to see how we could improve there. But okay, we're still fighting pretty well here. Now he's got all these pawns which are broken, but if I go here, I missed he had here, and if I go here, I missed he had here, and that is bloody annoying. Yeah, this, I forgot that he's defending this pawn wherever I go. So what if I come for this one? Can we draw this ending? This will be a good test. So we're 2 pawns down, but his pawns are very weird. And I'm trying to, first thing I'm trying to do is make his rook passive. Hopefully his rook is now tied up here. So he's activating his king. Good play. And I don't think I can push for a win here. We're going to have to try defending this position. I'm just going to have to wait because my pieces are in kind of the best position they can be in. And if I go here, he will come here and go for this pawn. So again, well spotted from my opponent. But what's he going to do to win this one? This is my drawing plan, because if he comes with his king, maybe I can get counterplay here. And if he moves his rook, I obviously take this pawn. So to get a little bit of time on the clock, we will see what he's going to do. Okay, and if check, we come back, and of course our idea is to tie him down to the defense of the A pawn. And if he comes back, we can wait. Well, I'll bring the king back up. So he's got to try this one if he wants to win. So he's going for the win, and now my king, not fantastic. But this is looking okay for me, because we can simply take here. Now I'm wondering if I can try winning this one, but I think that's a bit optimistic, isn't it? Now this check I can block with my rook, and then he okay. So this is a good move, but it should be a technical draw now if I want it. I'm just wondering if I have any way. Here he can check and he'll come take that pawn. Maybe I should do this one, force his king to take my pawn, but just put his king in a bad situation. And now we can at least hold on to the pawn. The other way I could try to draw it is just put the king in the corner and wait again. But we want to give ourselves, I'm going to say, some winning chances. There's no winning chances here. He played very well. Draw is a fair result. And we just have a look afterwards where we could have gone right. And even without the pawn here, it's a draw, this position, because he can't really stop this plan. So rook takes pawn would be a nice way to draw now. Rook takes rook, and it is stalemate. And there's nothing he can do. He can't move his pawn, he can't move his king, he can only move his rook, and my king can just do this forever. Is there any little tricks I can set for him? I was thinking about going king g6, but he can always check me away. He always has these checks over here, so there's nothing to do. And you imagine, even if this pawn wasn't on the board, this is quite a well-known draw, because he can't do anything. The only way he can try is going rook to this square. And I must admit, I can't remember the correct drawing process here. Does it matter where I move my rook? If I go here, does it matter? Then okay, this one not going to help him. I go here, but I mean, he could try this move, but it's not going to make much difference. Rook here. Okay, we'll come over here. Got to maybe be a little bit careful, just so I got this check here. If he tries to come this way around, again, if he checks me, I can just do this. And as long as I stop his king coming out, there's no way he can promote his pawn. And this one we check, we force his rook to come back. And we go here, we go over here, we can probably do anything, and it's a draw. Okay, let's have a look at that one then. I don't know if I got the game review, because I'm a cheapskate, and I don't think I have Diamond membership, so oh, we do have a game review, so let's have a look. So my opponent played very, very high there. I mean, it's a high quality game, right? 92% from both of us, so I can be happy with that. I mean, is there any suspicion of my opponent cheating? Because this is a question we have to ask. I think there is. I'll be honest, some of his moves seemed a little bit unnatural, but he could have just been, but you know, I'm a bit paranoid as well, so it could have literally just been he played very well, and you can see he had a big advantage around this point here when I moved this back. But the moves that kind of shocked me was queen b5. I don't think he did cheat then. Queen b5 the computer gives as a mistake, and if that's the case, then yeah, I think he just played very well. I mean, you know, and this can happen. You know, your opponent plays very well, but you know, I would say that if we have a look, d5. See, the computer also actually thinks is a mistake, which I'm intrigued about. It thinks that c5 is better. That would be a much more dynamic move. And then after queen a4, this is where I should maybe just get on with it. I played a little bit too wimpish here. It's a bit unlike me. I was trying to get everything. I was trying to hold on to this one, stop him playing this move, and slowly get ready to play on g5. But what I should do, this move is not so scary on its own. I think as the computer, I like this knight f6 move. And then if here, I like the idea of something like g5. This would be much more dangerous, and this is much more the way to play. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty obvious. We go for the attack. We don't need to defend. This would really help me because it closes everything down and my bishop gets ready to come round. And I'm always going to have some attack when my pawn gets to g4. This is much more like it. So in actual fact, I played a little bit too defensively, and I played in this position this weird move, moving my rook away. It did feel unnatural, and normally when you play a move that feels unnatural, it is a mistake. It is a mistake. And I should have just got on with it and allowed this move. So I was actually trying to play a little bit too safe in that game for a change. Well played to my opponent. He played an excellent game. And chess is not an easy game, is it? When your opponent plays well, it's tough.